Yes, guys, welcome to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for a new show. Actually, to be honest, I'm trying this out. It's the WSL show. We're looking at the Women's Super League and women's football in general, and having a discussion about the title race, the top four race, because it's getting very, very interesting about two clubs in particular, Chelsea and Arsenal. Before I have a discussion, I've got Maisy, who obviously, if you watch their channel, covers a lot about women's football. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Stephen. How are you? And thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I'm alright, not doing too bad. Yeah, we'll go straight into it. I mean, the title race is looking very interesting. Obviously, this week Chelsea have had to play their game in hand over Arsenal, because they did have a game in hand this week. Uh, yeah, if I have a look at the league table, I don't know
They
if they.
didn't play the game in hand in the end. It
Oh
was
yeah, it was
against
postponed.
Spurs.
It
Yeah,
was postponed, wasn't
Spurs
it?
had
Yeah.
a lot of COVID cases in their camp, so
Right.
they still technically got a game in hand still. So Arsenal still looking down.
Yeah, I mean, this is like how it looks so far. So obviously, Arsenal played 17 games and all 40 points. Chelsea with that game in hand of 38 points. I mean, looking at it right now, would you like who's sort of like the team that's looking like that could eventually take it?
It's a tough one to be honest because you need to look at the games also what is going to be coming up. Arsenal
Mm.
have got Tottenham, they have got Chelsea. And Chelsea, of course, had Spurs, which was their game of hand postponed. They've got Leicester. They've got Reading as well for their next two games. And you look at them two games, in particular, in terms of Leicester, they should be winnable games. Leicester has definitely improved this season because they was actually bottom of the WSL, but they ended up
Mm.
picking a couple of wins under their new manager named Lydia. So they picked up, but I think both Chelsea and Arsenal are able to get these 3 points from Leicester because they are quite open in the back. They're missing out on their number 9, who's out till the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the only problem is when you do look at them two games, Chelsea have got Reading, and this season Chelsea has dropped points against Reading this season already. Reading actually took 3 points off Chelsea, so they've only had 2 losses this season. Chelsea, one of them being against Reading, and when you look at something like that, knowing that Reading, they've been quite the underdogs. They can steal points off people. They're quite a physical side for me. Very underrated, very very underrated side. And I know this is obviously about this season, but in terms of Manchester United's top 3 race, I'd say that
Mm-hmm.
loss against Reading cost us from actually getting into the top 3 last season. So we know that Reading can do a bit of damage, and if Chelsea manage to drop again of 3 points against Reading, that could open it up for Arsenal. But when you look at Arsenal's game against Tottenham, one
Mm.
of their draws this season has actually been from Tottenham. That was actually their first draw of the season, actually, because they was winning non-stop, constantly Arsenal until it got to
Yeah.
Tottenham. They drew and then they won against us 2-0. So I think both of them next two games for both Chelsea and Arsenal is going to be extremely difficult.
Well, looking at Chelsea's fixtures, they've got to play them twice, Tottenham, as well.
Yes,
And also is that um, Arsenal also fighting on two fronts. If we had the Champions League this week, so that hence why they were supposed to play this game in hand this week, because we're playing Wolfsburg in the Champions League
mm-hmm.
as well as the FA Cup. So we're sort of fighting on three fronts. Chelsea are only fighting on two.
Yep, they
So
got the FA Cup as well, haven't they?
yeah, we're
And
playing them in the FA Cup in the semi-final.
and they're the current FA Cup champions at the moment, Chelsea. So they'll probably want to still keep that. Um,
Mm.
with the FA Cup, I think it's a bit different this season because they normally play the FA Cup final at the beginning of the season. For the last season. But for this year, they're
Mm.
actually playing it in May. So that could be an advantage even for Arsenal, depending on who gets what far, because Manchester City are picking up points. They're in the FA Cup also. But I look at these kind of games with Arsenal still being in 2 cup competitions, Chelsea being in a cup competition, winning a cup competition, Man City still being in a cup competition and being in this. They didn't win it actually. Sorry, Chelsea. Man City won it. They won the Conti Cup, but Chelsea was the runners-up. That was my mistake. Sorry, but when you do look at them kind of fixture, them kind of run of games compared to Manchester United, we've only got 5 games left till the end of the season, and we can afford now, because we've got players coming back. We can afford now to play our stronger team every single game, and having teams who are having to be in Champions League like you, FA Cup like other teams such as yourself, either Tottenham's in the FA Cup, so they might not be able to play their strongest team every single game. They might pick up a couple of injuries. So in that kind of respect, that could even benefit Manchester United.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're playing on multiple fronts and you've only got sort of limited squad, something's got to give. Something's got to give somewhere, and obviously, sometimes it's like, what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize the Champions League? Do you prioritize the league, FA Cup?
What would you prioritize if you was Arsenal?
I prioritize the league, to be honest.
I agree with that one.
I don't think we're strong enough to win the Champions League, not yet.
I agree.
And we ain't won it since 2018-19, so it's been a few years. We want to win that again. So
Arsenal's definitely improved, though. 100% improved from the last season, because you were just a top 3 team, and now you're a contender for the league, because you've had a change of management, you've had different players coming in, like Tobin Heath, was a former player of ours.
We changed the manager this season, so
you did.
Like, it was very. I wasn't expecting one of those seasons where you're taking time to adjust to how you want to play, or how he wants you to play, but we seem to pick it up like that straight away. So
whereas ours was the other way around, we needed a couple of months to adapt to Mark Skinner, and we are getting better. But I think for Man United, what is going to ruin us more than anything, it's the mentality, because it just seems like we have these many winning mentality apart from when we play the top 3. When we play Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, that's where the mentality kind of drops to think, can we really do this? I'm not too sure if we can do that.
I know the feeling in the men's game.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is for Manchester United in the WSL. It just feels like in a way that we fear. And ever since we have got into the WSL in the 2019 season, we have actually never won a game against Chelsea. Never won a game against Chelsea. We've won against Arsenal, we've won against Manchester City, but we've never, ever won against Chelsea. So I think there is still that little bit lingering over there with Manchester United, and that's our final game of the season. And that even that game could think, is this game going to ruin us from getting in the top 3? But there was so many draws this season, what could have been prevented, because we was very sloppy in our second half defending.
Well, we played Arsenal the other day. Like a lapse of concentration cost you 3 points basically, because that goal he should have been doing a lot better. I'm going to go to the comments. I don't know if you want to read these out at all. So, big up Static. Big up Just Me. Hope you're doing well. Big up Mike Green. Absolutely bloody buzzing. Oh, is Wales playing tonight then? Okay.
Wales is playing tonight, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I've lost track. That's it. Once it gets internationals, I lose track. That's it. Hello, big up Noel as well. If you do, hit the like button and subscribe, really would help. And also make sure you go subscribe to Devils United. Link is in the title of the video, so make sure you click on that and do it right now. I knew it if you knew what I'm talking about. I'll get back to you on that one. You can tell me later. Maisy definitely the league as my preferred choice. Yeah, league is bread and butter. Of course it is. So, and it's the one where you should judge where you are. Someone has agreed to buy him a playoff final ticket. Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, in terms of Man United, for example, I've been impressed this season. I mean, I was impressed in like the last time we played you, but do you feel like you can actually mount a proper challenge next season?
It depends for me if Matt Skinner gets backed. People say these signings are Matt Skinner signings who came through in the summer because we actually made these signings before Matt Skinner actually did get appointed. So technically, the only signings what were his were these loanees from January and the 1 year deal with Jade Moore. Diane, who came in on loan, she is magnificent. If she was a couple years younger, I'd say to United, go and snatch her up. She's so well in the tackles. She's so experienced. I think compared to all the other squads in the WSL, ours is probably one of the younger squads because our oldest player before Diane and Jay came in, our oldest player was 28. 28. So when you go into 28, you're hitting your prime. And that was our goalkeeper who was the oldest as well, Mary Earps. The rest of them are quite young. Anna Battel, she is 21. She's already getting into the first team for Spain. Ella Toon, she's only in her early 20s as well. She's getting into regular England football.
I'm impressed by her as well.
Yeah. Alicia Russo, very, very young as well, early 20s. You look at Katie Zellum, she's only very, very young too. And Brun, who we brought in, I believe she's only 22. So we've got a very, very young squad coming in. And for me, when I look at it, I think with the squad that we do have, we've got a very talented squad, an extremely talented squad. And we are working well, very, very well. And I think it's been hard coming from Casey Stoney, who's, for me, quite a counter-attacking kind of football, to come to Matt Skinner, who is like a kind of manager who is a possession-type-based manager. He wants to keep high possession of the ball. And I think when he did first come to the job, I don't think he realised how big it was to be at Manchester United. And when I do look at, for instance, like when we drew and when we lost against Chelsea, because that was actually a bad defeat at the start of the season, 6-1 defeat at home against Chelsea. And you look at his interviews, it seemed like he was a bit a bit like he wasn't that bothered. But the fans, because I'm good friends with the fans who come to the football games. If you do watch my channel, of course, Andy and Chloe, they're big fans
you can tell by the vlogs.
Yeah, they go to the game every single week. They'll travel, and you could tell by the fans that they wasn't happy with the game. And what really pushed it was Everton when we drew 1-1. Because these games, like Everton, are not the games we should be getting draws from. We should be getting 3 points. And then once the fans made the stance that they wasn't happy, there was people wanting Matt Skinner out. I think his mentality really changed, and he was making the best out of his team. People were saying, like, look, you need to start Hayley Ladd, because she's our proper, at the time she was only our CDM. Put her in. Put Bo Reese, who's a new signing, because her midfield creativity is different compared to the Kate Zellum, compared to the Jackie Groan and Ella Toons. And ever since these two in particular started playing, I'd probably say more Hayley Ladd was that influence. We was winning games, was keeping clean sheets. We didn't concede a single goal in 8 games. That was how good our defense was.
You mentioned about the fans, and it's kind of like what I expect when I talk about a lot about the men's game, for example. Like, a lot of it is, and the reason I go on about the fans a lot is because it's standards. It's like, it's what, if you demand more, you put pressure on the club to have to do more. Right? and the club can't do anything without the fans. So it's exactly like what you just explained there. It's just that because you were demanding more and you weren't happy enough with the performances, he's had to go back and like work something out in the drawing board. Otherwise, he knew he would get sacked because the fans will not be happy. And he's turned it around.
Yeah, exactly. And considering we look at that first Arsenal game compared to the Arsenal, both the Arsenal games, when we made our meetings, I think Manchester United, from that Arsenal game, with the 2-0 defeat to the 1-1 draw, it felt like a completely different Man United you were playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was really sort of impressed, and I thought you've got something there that if you build up on it, you could be a serious challenger next season. Probably just a few more in quality, in terms of signings. And then once you got that, then you've got to count them as a. But even then, you could buy it. It's like you say. It's like I've said before. It's all about mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Will they have the mentality to be able to stomach a challenge, especially when you're going against Arsenal, Chelsea, and even Man City, for example? I don't know what's happened to Man. Go on to Man City in a sec because they've had a car crash for a season, but usually it's been Man City up there as well.
Good things to see.
I know that cheer up, but but usually them three are like the top three in the WSL, and they don't usually get questioned.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So going up against them mentality-wise in a title challenge is going to be a big test next season.
Yeah, I do also agree with the signings and the transfers for Manchester United, because with Manchester United, we're quite a thin squad, a very, very thin squad actually. We roughly have around 23 players for the start, like, in the squad. So it's quite thin compared to all the other teams, and we lost a lot of players in last summer. We lost up to about 9 players, roughly around. And we brought about 6 or 7 in. And we've had injuries. We've had quite a lot of injuries, like Mannion. She actually didn't play in the second game against Arsenal. I think she was injured. She was injured. And she's going to be out now till the rest of the season because she's got an ACL injury. Millie Turner, our other centre-back, she's out she's got something wrong with like some kind of a tube in her neck. So like, do you like where the blood flows through in her neck? There's something wrong with that as well. So we've only got 2 available centre-backs. One of them is a loanee. The other one is a permanent signing. We've only got we haven't got any fullbacks because our only fullback who is a backup is injured. We've got 2 CDMs. We're quite short on the wing. We don't really have a proper right wing player, and we're playing a striker there. So there is definitely a couple of signings that we do really need at Manchester United to contend and to actually challenge for the league, and even if we get through to the Champions League, to do well. But I think Manchester United will actually invest if we do get into the Champions League, just so we can have a good run of that. But we do have a couple of players up at the end of the season, Jackie Groenen and Anna Battel. As it stands, I think Anna Battel is going to sign a new contract extension from what I was reading. I think she wants to do another 4-year deal, and she wants to go back home to Barcelona. Because I think as she is right now, I don't think she'll get into starting 11 Barcelona, because you know how well Barcelona is. So, and I think she's better off probably being at Manchester United, having that full game time, especially knowing that she knows she's a crucial player for the club and she won't get dropped. She's a player. No. She is one of the players where you'd look at the starting 11 squad. You say, right, this player is playing no matter what, and that is the kind of player Anna Battel is. you need her on the pitch. You need a presence on the pitch, and she's a bit like cool in that respect as well, like the way she runs, and there's some kind of swag about her I quite like. But in terms of Jackie Groenen, I think that depends on Champions League football, because she says she wants to play in Champions League. So I think that's always going to depend on that. And we know how well she is in the midfield. So she would be a loss for us. But we have played without her and we've won games. So is she going to be a huge loss to the point where we're not going to win any of the games? Probably not. But a presence and a work rate is something we need at Manchester United as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. But yeah, I'll go to some of the comments again. Let's have a look. Women's football, it's become a great game. Absolutely. Make sure you like, subscribe, share stream to Maisy. Make sure you do that right now. Good. Otherwise, I'll chase you down. Good on you, Steve, for showing some respect for women's football. Yeah, it's becoming like such a great game to watch. Actually, it's and trust me, like I've got to have some ambition of winning something. Like,
you might actually win something. I know you've got quite a few FA Cups in the men's game, but you might win an FA Cup again. But I agree with what you said before, though, about the league, because the Champions League, especially whilst Barcelona is how they are, I know it's a WSL show, but
yeah, we lost 4
Barcelona have not lost. They've won how many games? They've lost 1 game in 3 seasons in their league. 1 game. They've already won the league 24 games in.
And therefore, I was going to win it.
There's no way you're going to be winning the Champions League while Barcelona's winning. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we weren't that 1 game either. So there we are. I remember we played them early in the season, got absolutely battered.
So did Chelsea, though, and you know how well Chelsea is. They got battered 3-0, I believe.
Oh, I swear, it's like they're using cheat mode on FIFA.
They're a beginner's mode.
So I'm gonna get a lot of Barca fans like come and like absolutely tear me apart now. Speaking of Barca fans, here's unknown. See, I told you they're gonna come in and actually tear me apart now for saying that. Yeah. I just need to highlight the questions. Where is the? There it is. Maisy, is it true that 10 to 12 players could leave at the end of the season?
In the women's game, no, there isn't that many players who are leaving. There is a couple of players up in terms of the contract. Ella Toon has already signed a contract extension. So has Carrie Jones. She signed a contract extension. So the only 2 really is Jackie Groenen and Anna Battel. And apart from that, there isn't anyone who's really up in terms of the contracts. It's mainly the season after. But we all knew Ella Toon was going to extend the contract, and we all knew that Carrie Jones were their academy players who love Manchester United, and I don't think Ella Toon would leave the club. I genuinely don't believe so. But in terms of Anna, as I've touched on before, I think she'll want to do another contract extension, but it just depends on if she can get first team at Barcelona. Right now, no. 4 years' time, maybe. But in terms of Jackie, that is still all up in the air for me. And I would love Jackie to stay, but I wouldn't say... Yeah. I wouldn't hate her or anything if she does stay. If she doesn't, of course, stay. But we've got, obviously, our 2 loanees as well who's up to leave in the summer.
Would you keep any of them? Would you actually...
Brun, she hasn't made too much of an impact in the Premier League so far, but coming from Lyon to not having much game time there, to coming to Manchester United, it's difficult, isn't it, to adapt to a new league, to adapt to different players. So I agree. I think it's extremely hard. And if she finds a shooting boots, I think she might stay at Manchester United. But in terms of Diane, I would love her to stay. She would be someone who I would say, please, please, please keep her. But it's just her age. It's just her age what puts me off more than anything. Because she'd be retiring in 2 years' time. We need to think long-term investment.
Yeah, long-term. The men of Arsenal need to learn from the Arsenal Yes, I've been saying that for ages. I've been saying it for ages. Trust me. Like, and back in the day, at least, like, if Arsenal didn't win anything, the women's team won something at least. Like,
Mhm.
at least. But yeah, that was back in the day. Yeah, I want to touch on Man City. And Man's obviously Man City should be up there with Arsenal and Chelsea challenging for the title. They have been before, so it's just like they've had a car crash of a season, to be honest. Like, don't know exactly what's going on there, to be honest.
Yeah, they had a lot of injuries at the start of the season. They bought Lucy Bronze. She got injured. Demi Stokes was injured for a bit. Ellen White had a couple of injuries. Caroline Ware had a lot of injuries. Basically, near enough the starting 11 had a lot of injuries. They had up to 8 players out of their starting 11 team.
Yeah.
And their manager, Gareth Taylor, he doesn't like their youth academy, apparently. He doesn't like them. So he didn't want to trust the youth. He would rather use players who are not fully fit, but that can't, like, pretty much the B team, basically, who would just come on as a substitute. He'd rather use them who are not that good than bring in the best in the reserves team. That's what he would rather do. And a lot of the games, it cost him a lot of points. I think that Ellen White hasn't really been in her best season for me. A goal scoring isn't exactly great. Is that because perhaps that she hasn't had the service? I don't know.
Well, when we played them at home, we absolutely battered them 5-0.
Yeah.
For example.
And I think Man United was unlucky to come out with a 2-2 draw at home. I think, though, with the WSL, because we've seen it with Arsenal, we've seen it with Manchester City. They both had 10 men down, 10 ladies down compared to us. It was Georgia Stanway who got a red card for Man City, and who was it for Arsenal who got a red card again? Was it Beta?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe it was. So, and with the WSL, you don't really get many red cards. So in a way, it feels like, are these teams able to adapt for when there is when there's that one player down? Because it is very rare you do see that. It's very rare you see a penalty. It's even rare when you see a yellow card.
Was that the red card in your game?
Yeah, we had 2 red cards in this. We haven't had a red card. Well, actually, we've had 1 red card in the Conti Cup.
Because when you played at home
against
Stanway
City, she got sent off.
She got sent off.
It just feels like, in a way, we don't know how to play when when they've got the one player down, and it feels like we get a little bit too comfortable. But that's when, and Matt Skinner, his substitutions are far too late for me as well. And I just think if you see, like, right, this player's down, that means they're down in the midfield, because Georgia Stanway is more of a midfielder. So you look at that and think, right, let's get on some attacking players. Fuso, come on. You look at Fuso coming on. You look at Martha Thomas coming on. You look at these players on the bench, think, right, bring as many attacking players on as you can. Let's finish this game off. And that is that something more about the idea in Matt Skinner's head? I don't know, but it just feels like Manchester United doesn't know how to work with a team that's got 1 player down.
I mean, yeah, it's, but again, it's also like, I feel with. That's also annoying. I also find with managers when they got an opportunity to see a game out, or they got an opportunity to win a game, they don't go and take it, or they hesitate, and they delay substitutions or anything like that. Especially if you're 1-0, especially if you're like 1-0 down or 2-0 down. So what? Throw the kitchen sink at it. You know what I mean? Throw the kitchen sink. Put as many players on, give them about 20 minutes.
And we've got 5 substitutes. It's not as though it's like the Premier League where you got the 3. You've got 5. And you look at what annoys me about Matt Skinner. He literally uses his substitutes too late. It annoys me so much. Yeah. It annoys me. You look at Fuso, she's such a good player. She in terms
But
of
in
a
terms of
happy,
squad
positive
management,
mentality.
but in terms of squad management, they could end up easy picking injuries because they're tired, right? Because that's and also for the next game, they're running like dead on their feet. How many times have I sat there and moaned about, say, Saka in the Premier League, for example, because he keeps getting overused. So it's exactly the same here. It's about squad management, and in a title race, that's so key, especially if you're going against two teams that pretty much treat it like the frigging French league, like at times. So if you're going to go against them, it's all about squad management.
Yeah.
So.
But with Man City, they have picked the form back up again though, and they haven't lost a game recently neither. When you look at Man City, they've won the last 4 out of the 5 games. They're picking up points again, so they've actually got more wins than us this season. It's just that they've had more losses than us. So we need to be extremely careful not to drop points, because I think even if we get another draw, Man City's got that first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Maisy, who is your player of the season for Man United? And big up Miss Mel in the chat as well.
Hi.
Yeah.
It's a good question. It is a very good question, because there is quite a few players who I could name out for me of who is a contender for player of the season. Manu would have been one for me, but she's got her ACL injury now, so I'd have to rule her out. Mary Earps, I think she's an outstanding goalkeeper. This is not from a biased perspective, but I think she's actually the best goalkeeper in the league. A distribution, a shot stopping. She has got all the qualities you want in a goalkeeper. Do you remember that save against Arsenal she made? We both thought it was in for Arsenal. She saved it. Them kind of things are incredible. A distribution, amazing. She's very vocal. She commands the back line, and that is all the qualities you want in that goalkeeper. So I actually think she's probably the best. She is the best goalkeeper in the league. Ella Toon, she came to Manchester United when we first came. She was a squad player. Now coming to a starting 11 player who's undroppable. She's got the most goals and assists in the league. Brilliant. She's another contender. Alicia Russo is another for me. She was quite bad with her injuries last season, and now she's a top goal scorer for Manchester United this season. You look at that, and you would even argue Katie Zellen with the corner kick she's been doing. Then I don't know if you've seen the recent corner kicks she's done.
We conceded. I think we conceded because of a corner kick, I believe.
Yep. Man City and both of them for Leicester. She literally scored from the corner. She literally the goal. That's where it went. No one touched it. It was from her foot. So you could literally say the the corner flag was the assister.
Stephen, who will win the Champions League? Well, it ain't us.
Barcelona, hands down Barcelona. And I know Unknown asked before about
they've lost 1 game in 3 seasons. I'm going for them
in the league. And to Unknown, he did ask about Alexia if she is the GOAT. And I actually say, yes, she is the GOAT. She is the best player in the women's game. She's a Ballon d'Or winner at this moment in time as well. For the amount of goals and assists she produces for a midfield is outstanding. She's like one of them like shy kind of people when you do look at her, but she's very fierce on the pitch. You know what you want, what she can bring to the team on the pitch, and she's outstanding. And already Barcelona scored over 100 goals in the league this season, over 100. And
I'll do that on FIFA.
And to Unknown, I actually met Alexia a couple of weeks back when she was playing for Spain against England. I had a picture with her. We tried asking her, will she come Man United, but she won't respond back.
It's a good try.
She's not going to want to come.
Nah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, no harm in asking, is it?
I know, but like, I think, it's not good. I don't think that's going to work, to be honest, but there you go. It's worth a try. Can you see the women's team playing their home games the same way as the men's in the years to come? Is this in the pipeline?
Me, Andy, and Chloe actually discussed this in our preview yesterday because Manchester United is playing at Old Trafford this weekend.
We're playing, I believe.
Yeah. And we said that at this moment in time, we can't really do it because I think you played at the Emirates for one of your Champions League games, and
we played last night. We played not last night, not before, something like that. For the Wolfsburg game.
So. Yeah, and it was if you looked at the stadium, it looked very bare. But I think before you do look at going into these Old Traffords for permanent games, you need to look at building the publicity for the WSL. And you need, at this moment in time, Manchester United's only getting roughly around 1,015 people attending the games. 1,015. If that's because of the location, is that because people don't like women's football? I don't know what it is, but we can't have 1,015 people at Old Trafford. Do you get what I mean? It's just not ethical. It's no point. It's stupid.
You wouldn't even fill one side of the stadium.
No, exactly. We only have one stand open at Leigh Sport Village. I actually like Leigh Sport Village. I think it's a cracking ground. But there was discussions about an academy stadium being built near Old Trafford, like a smaller version of Old Trafford. So if that was to work, maybe that could be good. But at this moment in time, no, I can't see it happening. And I think there's a lot of things what need to happen before we do look at putting home games at Old Trafford. Some games already some teams already play at their men's ground. So you look at, for instance, Reading, they play all their games at the men's ground, and so do Birmingham. But it's because that they haven't got a women's ground or an academy ground, so they play it at the men's ground. But if you have got the facilities and you have got the extra ground like we do, like Man City do, like Arsenal and Chelsea do, just use the academy stadium or use the women's ground, whatever the one it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the future it's gradually getting there and growing. I think also there's what's helped it is the fact of how well the women's team's done in the England women's team has done in the World Cup, in their Euros as well. It's sort of grown off. That has helped grow it even more. And now, obviously, you can see it. You can see it live. Most of the games live now. People are going to start noticing a lot more because Sky are in it. Are in on it. They'll promote it like big time all over their channel. And it's kind of like what happened when Sky took over the Premier League. Look how much it's grown since then. I think now it's got so much TV sort of coverage, you're going to see it grow a lot more. I do feel it'll grow a lot more. And I think the crowd numbers will improve. But for now, it's too low. But
yeah, exactly.
It is going to get there.
Yeah, it will get there. It will get there. But at this moment in time, it's just silly to use the men's home grounds. But Sky have already invested in the WSL, and they have also going to be investing in the Championship next season as well. So that is going to be two great platforms. But what I'm not really liking with Sky is that they're doing 11:30 in the morning kickoffs. Would you ever see the Premier League kick off at 11:30 in the morning? Come on, no. Why should we? Why should
especially if you've got to travel about 5 hours to get to it?
Yeah, the player, right? People who went to the Reading game because we kicked off 11:30. They was leaving their house at 6 o'clock in the morning so they could watch the game. 11:30 in the morning is an absolute joke, and we're not going to be taken serious if we're having stupid kickoff times like that. And then on the Sunday, 6:30 in the evening on Sky. You look at things like that, but I also look at improvements from BBC where last season we wasn't even shown on BBC One and BBC Two channel. You literally have to press the red button on the BBC to actually access the games. But now they're actually showing it on BBC Two on a Saturday and Sunday, which is great. So I can see improvements in that respect. I see improvement that Sky's invested in it, but there is a lot more that should be done. And I think that you need to accommodate around the fans and the players in terms of these times, because
That's the
half
big
11's a
problem.
joke.
That's a big problem as well. As much as it helps like promote the women's game, the other problem is that you'll TV companies, because of the amount of money in it, they'll get what they want. So if they say, well, we can't show it at 11:30, we can't show it until like at 11:30 because we've got Arsenal, Man United in the men's game in about 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock kickoff. Like they'll be like, right, okay, we'll do it at 11:30 then. They'll do it to try and fit it around so they can fit both the men's game and the women's game on their channel. So that is a problem. That is a real problem. Yeah, I'll just quit. I'll get that today. Fine. Maisy.
Well, if you're gonna look in terms of qualities, you've got to go with Earps, because she's got the overall qualities for me. She's got everything what you want in a goalkeeper. As people would describe, she is a modern day goalkeeper, whereas De Gea is getting a little bit ancient, outdated. He's a shot stopper. His distribution's crap. If you took away the stop, I'm not dissing De Gea in any kind of way. He's been brilliant for us. But if you took away that shot stopping from De Gea, what could he do? Realistically,
nothing. Not in terms of modern games. Well,
no, exactly. So it's got to be Mary Earps by absolutely miles. And De Gea's actually been singing praises about Mary Earps. He's been watching her. He's been putting videos out, giving his praises, giving her his best wishes. He even sent a video to her after that save against Arsenal. That was when he actually started recognising her. And then they both had like a bit of an interview together. And I actually posted it on my Twitter today, but they had a little bit of an interview together, which was really, really good to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it helps further promote the game as well. So having that as well. There's another question there. Question: can you see the current numbers improving for the women's game? Because anytime I see the game, there's a lot of empty seats. I think we just answered that, to be honest.
Well, if you was to watch Manchester United on the TV, you wouldn't see the empty seats, because where the video is getting shown, you can see the crowd. But from what I do my vlogs, you can see the empty seats. So it's depending on where you're seeing these empty seats from, because the stand looks very, very full when you are taken away from when you're taking that away. I think it's just small because of my vlogs, so I do make it look empty. And I think the crowds will improve once the publicity grows. People start getting into the game, and it's only going to go stronger is when you get more promotions. When, of course, I think international really helps. I think the Euro 2022 this year is going to be probably the largest international tournament for our women's. It's actually in England this season. Yes, so I think that's going to help massively. And of course, when you're getting Sky and you've got BBC to invest a lot better and actually show a lot more games. And I always think to myself, could it be a good idea even for, you see, like Sky, you see Sky Sports Premier League, Sky Sports F1, Sky Sports Cricket. Do you think it could be a good idea to put Sky Sports WSL? So you can put all the WSL games on there, so you can have the option to watch it rather than wait for all the Premier League games.
I think it will go down that route. It will go down that route, I believe.
It's better. It's better because then we're not having to accommodate around the Premier League. We can watch it whenever we want.
I think it will get there. Remember there was a day it was a UCL game. I remember doing that watch along. That was painful. We used to talk how bad our men's team were, and how bad the women's team. Now men have been stepping up. Yeah, yours has. Ours has been okay. very rarely seeing a game at early kickoff. Let's done that question. Barcelona are gonna further invest money on women's football.
I agree.
That's really harsh.
I don't mean it to be harsh because I think De Gea is a brilliant goalkeeper. It's just that I just don't think he is suited for modern day Premier League anymore. And I do think whoever the manager is going to be for Manchester United in the men's team, if that's going to be Ten Hag or whoever that will be, I don't think De Gea will be basically on a ticking time bomb because I think one of them will get rid of him.
Yeah. Serious question. What does he? I'll just come back to that. And I'll get to the rest of the comments. Steve, I have to agree from before. I do think Barcelona and with maybe Wolfsburg are favourites for the Champions League. Well, we're putting up a fight against Wolfsburg, so that gives us some positivity. Does the England team need to? What does England need to do to ever win the World Cup? Not be England. We ain't good.
I must be honest, though. I'm not a fan of this manager. I'm really not a fan of her. I'm not one of them who's gonna say Serena out or anything like that. But she's a bit like Gareth in the respect that you look at her and think, what the hell are you bringing these players through for? She's not bringing through players who are on form.
Mate, I still can't work out how Maguire's in this team. So.
Well, Gareth Southgate's already said
he must have been on drugs. He must have been on drugs when he done that.
Well, basically, what he was trying to imply about Maguire is that regardless if he's on form or not, he will be put in the England team because he's a crucial player for the England.
What?
That's what he's
fucking it up.
Pretty much, but anyway, she's a bit like one of them. She's one of them. She'll bring in all these players who are like near enough at retirement age. Stefan, Jill Scott. What are you bringing these through for? How can they compete against the best brain team in the world right now with Jenna, with Alexia, with Honor, and then we've got bloody Jill Scott there. Come on, we'll be torn apart. Like we'll be eating for breakfast in the World Cup, and she's not looking at these younger players who are doing a brilliant job. Like these players who are, yes, I believe should be there, but then there's players who deserve more game time. There's players who should be called up instead, and it just seems like she's bringing out of form players. Mannion, before she got injured, she should have been well and truly in that England squad, and she wasn't even called up once.
Yeah, absolutely. Investments that Barcelona are going to make in women's football will be given a fourth natural grass training pitch, new sponsors, new big facilities. Of course, if you're that good, you're going to get that. So Maguire means yeah, let's just not go there. Let's just not go there. But score predictions. Right, we'll go for score predictions, shall we? If I can bring up the actual table, that's a good idea.
Yeah, sounds good. Gonna have a look at these games as well whilst you're doing it.
Right, how about fixtures? Right, there you go. Right, so match day. It's match day 18, isn't it? So
yeah, match day 18 it is. Yeah.
Boom. Right. North London derby. Love that. Aston Villa Reading.
I think it's going to be a win there for Reading, just because Aston Villa isn't that good for me this season either. They're down at the bottom, near the bottom of the table. They're dropping points like God knows what. The goal difference is horrendous, and Reading, I know they're 7th, but they are an underdog team. And when you're looking at it mathematically, they could still get into top 3, depending on what happens with every other team. So I think it's going to be a 2-0 for Reading.
Okay. No, I was going 2-1 Villa.
What do you think?
I'd have to agree with you, but I'd say 2-1 Reading. It's going to be a close game for me. But I do think Reading have got a bit more about them. Arsenal Tottenham.
Oh, this is an hard one for me.
Ain't it for me?
Well, I think you're going to obviously predict to win yourself, but I'm actually going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
I used to like you.
Who likes me?
I'm not saying. I'm just no. It's your prediction.
No, it's just for me that Tottenham can turn it up when they want to turn it up, and Tottenham as well. They're wanting to fight for that top three place. You look at Ashley Neville. She is doing absolutely brilliant at the moment, and it really wouldn't surprise me if she will get a goal or two.
Yeah, I actually think for me, I was go for a chat first. 4-0 Arsenal, 3-0 Arsenal, 2-0. Yeah, I was going to go with what I know was going to say. 4-0 Arsenal. Batter the crap out of them. I don't care. Win the game. I don't care. Like, it could be the most wrong goal on the planet. I'd just be shameless. I don't care.
Well, I think if you are going to score, it will probably be from Miedemar or Blastinius.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still envy Arsenal for getting Blastinius. She was linked to us for ages.
Of course you would.
She was actually linked for us literally like in the summer. And we were, and like loads of reporters who were like, we were speaking to was like, oh, Blastinius is about to sign for Manchester United. 2 days later, she went and signed for Arsenal.
Not saying a word. They wouldn't get that in the men's game. Well, I don't know actually. Probably next season, probably won't. Anyway, Man United, Everton.
Well, especially being at Old Trafford, I think Manchester United will put the tempo on. They're not going to want to ruin their first Old Trafford game with a crowd.
Yeah.
3-0 United.
I'm going to go 2-0 United. See, you're being nice to you.
Thanks.
Man City, Birmingham.
Man City, especially at home, they're going to absolutely batter Birmingham. They're going to eat them for breakfast.
Birmingham is so shit.
5-0 for Man City.
I'll go 6. I'll be the bold one. I'll go 6. That's the absolute.
We scored 5 past them. I'm sure Man City.
Okay, 7 then. Okay. Let's go. Let's do it. 3-0 United. No, I went as well. Leicester versus Chelsea.
I think it's going to be a Chelsea win, and I'm going to go for a 3-0 for Chelsea. Especially Sam Kerr and Kirby back. I can't see anything but a Chelsea win anyway, to be fairly honest, even if they played Beth England and Harder and all them. Even their bloody bench team could make a top 3.
Yeah.
It disgusts me. It disgusts me.
As much as look, you've got to call me mad, but I need Chelsea to lose. So Leicester 1-0.
Well, I'll be pleasantly surprised if that was the case.
5-0 Chelsea. Unfortunately, Chelsea they'll win 2-0. Yeah, I needed to lose. So if it's 1-0 Leicester, then I'm gonna party. West Ham versus Brighton.
I actually think this one's going to be a draw, to be honest, because West Ham is such a physical team, whereas Brighton, they've been a bit on and off, a bit of a yo-yo. They've been good at the first half of the season, and then they've been crap. There's only 2 points in between them both as well. Brighton's actually won more games than West Ham this season as well, just that they've had a lot more losses. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
I think it's got 0-0 written all over it, to be honest. I say 0-0, to be honest. I just don't see anything different. I don't see a lot. There's not much between the two teams in this game.
No,
so
there isn't much.
So I think you'll play itself out. But, yeah. Actually, I should write all them down. But there you go. I might go back and write them. I will go back and write them down. I'll go back to next week. I say next week, 2 weeks' time. So, I think we'll end it there, actually, to be honest. obviously next week, if you don't know, Maisy, you're away for 2 weeks.
I'm away from next Friday, Friday the 11th, and I'm back on the
Right.
18th, actually. So I'm away quite a while.
Yeah, mate, you deserve it, no matter what you put into the channel. So
I've
everyone
got 2
deserves a break.
holidays.
I
I'm
know,
going away
everyone
2
deserves.
places.
I know, mate. So you deserve the break. So obviously during that time there won't be a show, but we'll definitely come back to it. Hopefully next week there should be another one because I think it's gone quite well actually.
Yeah, it went well, yes.
Yeah. So I only Arsenal. Yeah. Oh, big question I have to ask. I'll give you one. This last question. What are your thoughts of the US women's team succeeding in receiving equal pay like the US? I think, for me, I feel that's quite justified. Like, to be honest, they like getting equal pay, but
It's
that's
good
just
that
me.
they've got equal pay, but I think we should have really. There's a lot. The game needs to grow before we look at equal pay, in my opinion. Do you get what I mean?
Mhm.
And I just
Yeah,
think that it should have been looked at in years to come about equal pay. I just think right now, with the game only just growing, I don't think it's the right time to
it's
look at the
it's
equal pay.
it's like how you saw with the Premier League how it gradually it went from as the league gets more bigger, more money gets pumped into it. So obviously, there's more money around for these clubs to start buying and paying extra wages.
Yeah, and when
Because
that happens, I will agree that that needs
yeah,
to be looked into. But when there isn't no sponsors already, and man, some of the team, like you look at in the championship teams in particular, they've got to literally pay for their to get a sponsor. They've got to buy their own kits, their own travel. Some of them are
yeah,
still working full time, and you look at that and think, well, in that kind of respect, when there's nothing coming into this league, should there be equal pay? And that's where I think not at
teams
this
would
moment in
struggle to
time.
pay. Yeah, teams would struggle to
Yeah,
pay it in a minute, but yeah, I think it will get there eventually. But obviously, I think it's like saying the game needs to grow a bit more. But yeah, and like I said, we'll leave it there. Um, where can you where can we find you? Like for before we go.
yeah. My YouTube channel is Devils United. I do Manchester United content for both the men and the women's football, so you can catch me through there. I will actually be doing a watch along. Actually, I think no one will be happy about this, but for the Barcelona women team next week. I've been watching a little bit more Barcelona women, and I think they've been the class. So I thought, well, see how that goes on and stuff too. So I'll be doing a bit more there. See if I can try and do a bit more neutral watch alongs too. But it's all Manchester United based content anyway. But that's my YouTube, and my Twitter's at 2_ MUFC Maze.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you go and subscribe right now. Like I said, the link is in the title of the video, so all you have to do is just click on it and it should be there. So hit the like button, subscribe as well. Yeah, like as usual, Arsenal football content on this channel. If you want the F1 content, go to SFeatley F1, go subscribe to that now because that's going to be a busy weekend next weekend because obviously Saudi Arabia, which should be fun. It was fun the last time. I had to delete the stream because I lost my rag. Like,
Oh no.
like if someone deliberately break test someone, I'm gonna lose my cool. Like, but yeah. So make sure you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and yeah, we'll see you again soon. Until then, take care. Bye bye.